What's up, everyone? This is KTD Sports. I'm Bill Whyte. With me, as always, Devin Pinckney, Jimmy D. I think I'm pointing to the right. I never know. If I point the right way, but I think I did that time. But we'll see. So I got Devin here, Jimmy here. But yeah. So what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
It's another glorious
Doing
Thursday.
good. It's a little rainy outside. It's getting a little crappy, but we're surviving. We're inside.
Yeah, it's a little warmer than it's been though, so that's good. It's fucking freezing.
I was gonna say the NFL news kind of plateaued, but it's more like it normalized because the past month per se, 2-3 weeks has been like ape shit crazy.
Yeah,
like completely like NBA style, like uncharacteristic of the NFL. But
probably won't be seeing any more big signings, honestly, until after the draft.
Vastly entertaining. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is still like Wagner. We're gonna get to Wagner, but obviously he was important. But Tyrann Mathieu is still like a Pro Bowl safety available.
Yeah. I mean, Stephon Gilmore's available there too.
Who'd you say?
Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore's out there.
Yeah, he's probably
2 years ago he won the Defensive Player of the Year.
He did.
Yeah,
as a DB, that's very like I don't know how many have done that.
Not many.
It's crazy how these safeties and DBs like fluctuate year in and year out. 1 year they're nasty, the next they fall off a cliff.
It's crazy. It shows you how good Jalen Ramsey really is, though, because he's been consistent for a long time now.
Yeah,
like top elite. You know what I mean?
As we get to closer to the draft, you're not gonna hear like with the wide receivers. They'll be like, "Oh, this guy reminds me of Tyreek Hill. This guy reminds me of like DK Metcalf." Like they usually go crazy with it. With corners, they never say Jalen Ramsey because the dude's like 6'1", loves to tackle, which DBs nowadays don't do. He's
aggressive with the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and he has that confidence. Like I'm gonna win this matchup, or you're not getting any catches. Like. Which is rare for nowadays, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's obviously there's no Revises, there's no Ty Laws, there's no like Nnamdi Asomugha when he was good.
Right. Nah, there's no true lockdown corners right now.
No, just Ramsey. And then I mean JC Jackson's not really a lockdown either. He's like an interception guy. Same with Diggs in Dallas.
Yeah,
Diggs got beat there last year. He got beat
Diggs
bad.
Is overrated, dude. If he's not getting picks, dude, he ain't doing shit.
That's the thing. Ramsey gets like 2 picks a year because they're not throwing to him.
Exactly.
Like he's doing his job. That's why he doesn't get targeted. If you get 10 picks, that means you're getting thrown at like hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah, you brought Eli Apple.
Yeah. Apple. Hey, but don't sleep on J.C. Horn this year, the corner down in Carolina, rookie last year. Dude, he's going to be an elite guy coming up.
Yeah, he was showing up before he got hurt.
Yeah. That's Joe Horn's son, right?
They don't have a quarterback, do they?
Not sure, but that would make sense.
Yeah, right now, Darnold would be their quarterback. They need to do something. They need to draft something. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I like Pat Surtain too, of the same class.
Oh yeah, Pat Surtain. Yeah, another son of a Pat Surtain.
Yeah, he was good for the Broncos early too.
Yeah.
Sante Samuel Jr. I think he's gonna have a good year too.
Sante Samuel Jr.
It was a good class.
Yeah,
his name's just going under the radar because of all the big signings.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That team's gonna be legit.
Yeah. So it is good to see there is a good young core of like DBs coming up, you know what I mean? It's not dying, you know. Those guys, those 3 guys we just said are all going to be real good. But
we didn't mention Jeffrey Okudah.
Oh yeah, it's another one.
But I mean,
he was like the second pick in the draft or something, right? Like
2 or 3, but he hasn't looked good since he's been in.
He was a rookie last year, though, right? Or the year before.
It's weird. Like last year, but not last season. Like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, he drafted 2 seasons ago.
So this will be his 3rd.
Yeah.
I like that boy Jalen Hawkins too. He's down in Atlanta. He was playing well towards the end of the season. I think he'll come up.
I don't know him.
Yeah, I was looking him up the other day. He's safety for Atlanta.
What's his name?
He's a second-year guy. He got drafted late.
What was his name?
Jalen Hawkins.
All right, I'll keep an eye on him. Yeah. Safety in Atlanta. The thing is,
Yeah.
Atlanta's not going to be on TV, so it's hard to see them.
Well, no, but
I agree.
AJ
You see him on
Terrell
Red
too.
Zone.
Speaking
The only
of,
reason I looked at that because I have Eric Harris in Dynasty, so I was looking at who's like coming up next. So he might be a good pick. He was playing well the last 6 games of the year, and then obviously they didn't make the playoffs, and that team's chips. But it's watching a little film on him. He's all right. We'll see.
Yeah.
Someone to look out for.
yeah, they have AJ Terrell in Atlanta too. It's like
Yeah.
him and Pitts are like their best players now.
Yeah,
Given what
for
happened.
real.
Yeah, by far.
Don't get me wrong. That team's still going to be in shambles.
Who? Atlanta?
Falcons. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. They're gonna have the first pick in the draft next year.
Oh,
They're gonna be
yeah.
by far the worst.
Maybe the
team.
year after that too.
No O line,
Jacksonville.
no O line, no receivers, no defense.
No, but you got Kyle Pitts, and he is the O line and the receivers.
Oh yeah, the guy that don't block.
You got him, dude. He's like, that's like they got Marcus Mariota at quarterback. Oh my god, it's gonna be a disaster. It's gonna be such a disaster. I can't wait to
that
watch
means
it.
Pitts is gonna get fed. He's gonna get absolutely.
Oddly,
Yeah.
He might get 1,500 yards this year just because he's the only one getting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
we know they're not going to go nowhere, but oddly, Marcus Mariota is like the perfect fit because I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback this season because, like, what are they going to give to him to succeed? Kind of like Zach Wilson last year. Like, we didn't see much because, like, what did he have to work with? Like, Corey Davis and
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, Corey, they had Elijah Moore.
Like they had.
They're young. They're a young team. I get what you're saying.
Corey Davis had
Crowder
like
there.
one. Corey Davis has had like one formidable year in like 5 seasons, and
Jamison Crowder is his final year.
Crowder's like a perpetual
contract
slot, like a bad team slot receiver. Like he'll put up because he's the only guy, you know. Elijah Moore, I'll give you that. He's shown promise, but like, what do they have for tight ends? They got like Mekhi Becton, the only thing on there.
Oh, they got what's his face from Cincinnati, right?
Yeah,
they got them, but their offensive line is still in question. Always has been.
Swiss cheese, but
yeah,
they signed Uzoma and they signed Tyler Conklin, so at least
on Conklin too.
Yeah, on paper that it looks like they'll be more formidable. But
they gotta be.
Gotta see it in practice.
Yeah. I mean, CJ Uzoma is a legit guy. You know what I mean? He's like he's not gonna get you
very well last year. But last year it might be formidable too because he didn't play good the first 3 years of his career, but finally settling, seeing some touches. I don't know. Might have been a fluke year.
I mean, he blocks and he's a talented receiver. So I mean, he was also like the 5th option in Cincinnati. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe more responsibility. We'll see. What's in.
I just need more time to trust him, to be honest.
Fair.
Yeah, no, we'll see what happens. You know, I mean, but either way, so we came here to talk about Bruce Arians. He left. He's out the door, right? Gone. What do you think happened, Jimmy? What do you think happened? Like, what was it? What do you think the story is? Why is he gone?
I'm not sure, man.
He's out. Like something happened, dude.
It's just awfully shady. Like how all of a sudden you're gonna retire out of thin air, and then you're gonna go to the front office. Like, what are you really gonna do? Like, I don't know. I think he got forced out. Like, it's definitely like under the radar. I bet it was Brady. They're all gonna say it wasn't Brady. They're gonna continue that narrative. Like everything's fine. But Brady has a past history of stirring the pot and
that fucking snake.
And he's the GOAT. He does whatever he wants. It's his show. So it's kind of wild how everything's unfolding. Devin, what's your take, dude?
So initially I heard like kind of like digging around that he's flew away from the team before the retirement, because obviously that happened like today, or recently. Before the retirement, he was having like health situation. So he took time to like reassess and situate himself. But I think in that time, he kind of figured out, like, hey, I've accomplished what I need to. I mean, he's up there in age. I think he's in the mid to late 60s.
Yeah, he's up. I think that's oldest coach in the league, I'm pretty sure.
No, Pete Carroll is, but I think he's probably next. Or Belichick, 7-3.
Yeah, Carroll's
Right around 70 though, right? Something like that.
Yeah, old as shit, dude. You know.
But I have to give him
No
his
offense
props.
to anyone that's 70 watching the show, but I mean, you know, you're not young. You know.
Oh,
I have to give it to Arians though, because he in a 3-year. If you go back 3 years ago and say Arians is going to give you 3 years, 1 Super Bowl, and like 2 good playoff runs, I think you take that any scenario, you take that situation. He won that Super Bowl with three African American coordinators. Forgive me for not remembering the other one, but he had Leftwich on offense, Bowles on defense, and I think he had like an assistant.
Venus Joseph, was he there?
That sounds very like not obviously familiar, but that sounds like it makes sense. But he's put like black coaches in a successful position. He's also hired multiple female assistants, like going back to like 2015. He's got females on his staff, and that was one of the first teams to kind of go in that direction.
Larry Foote.
Mary Foote, that's the one.
Larry Foote, yeah. He's D-back too. Right?
Yep.
So, and he's done these things not out of like, oh, I'm going to do it to look better, or it's going to be a statement. Like, he's trusts these people to run his offense, his defense, and to put the team in position to succeed. And now you see Bowles get an opportunity to coach. Leftwich, I give it 2 years before, maybe less. If I had to take the under, I'll go under 2 years before he's a head coach. So I think he's done a lot in his.
Wait a minute, is Leftwich still on that
team.
staff? Is Leftwich still with Tampa Bay?
Yeah, he's still an OC. He was interviewed by Jacksonville, and I think it was a close call. But
okay, that makes sense. I'm surprised they went with Bowles then as head coach instead of Leftwich. I thought him and Brady had a better relationship, unless they didn't.
I mean, my theory would be,
he is
like Bowles coached before in New York. Obviously, the New York situation wasn't good for anyone involved. Like the lack of players in the building that could play.
Yeah. I mean, Bowles could only do what he could do when he was in New York. Like you're saying, it was just a bunch of garbage there. Sam Darnold and garbage, and was Sam Darnold there, right?
It's the Jets. Come on, let's get a grip.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't put that. You give the guy another chance, you know.
Right. So he's been a head coach before, so I think that has something to do with it. And then again with Leftwich, if you shoehorn him in right away, they're gonna be like, oh, well, how much of this is Arians' offense that he's running, or like,
unless he goes on a
He's gonna be very defensive minded. That's how he rolls. He was the D coordinator, you know. He did that with the Jets too.
With Bowles,
a very good head coach. So maybe he can get redemption, but that's something that's hard to sell on me too.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what that tells me though? Is that like, so Bowles is the defense guy. Brady's gonna be basically calling the offense. You know what I mean?
More or less.
Because I actually think I remember reading something where Brady and Leftwich weren't really getting on. I think Brady was ignoring Leftwich's play calling at one point last year and doing what he wanted.
Oh, wow.
What do you mean? Week 1, off rip, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And then all season probably. You know what I mean? But
I mean, he's coming off a ring, so it's like coming off 7 rings. You know,
he's the greatest quarterback ever. I mean.
So I'm sure he feels some type of way, like he can run the show. You know, he doesn't want to be the coach, but he does want to be the coach, like on the field, you know?
Yeah.
That's totally how it seems, especially with Arians, and they were button heads. So it's like, all right, let's get old dude out of here. Let's get some young blood. Let's get something going.
Yeah.
But
so
we'll see what happens. That defense is not the same as it used to be.
No, but they're still pretty good though.
Yeah.
They need help. Their secondary got killed last. They had nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their secondary was their biggest problem. And they need to draft it good, and they need the players to be healthy. They have who's the dude? They have another kid's son there that plays in their secondary that was hurt. Michael Pittman. Not Michael Pittman. Yeah, exactly. So they have players there. I mean, that's just one. That's if they feel that, and you have Shaq Barrett, you have Levante David, you got players out front, dude. You don't got to worry about that. You fix the secondary, that team's well rounded, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and NFC sucks, dude. It's just them.
Yeah,
you know why Brady came back.
Who's in that division? Carolina, the Saints.
Carolina, Atlanta, and the Saints. Okay, so the Buccaneers already won that division.
It's like
you know what I mean?
Right there.
And look who else is in. Like you have the Rams are good, and then like garbage. San Francisco maybe. The whole NFC is garbage. AFC is good.
The Packers got worse by.
Packers got worse. You know what I mean?
Subtraction.
Because Aaron got greedy because he wanted to get his bag, and now Devontae was like, "You ain't got enough money for me, so I'm gonna go play with my boy. I'm gonna get my bag anyway."
Exactly. So and Dallas
just replace Devontae Adams. I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no. And Dallas got worse too. You know what I mean? Amari Cooper's gone for a bag of balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're doing budgetary moves.
Ezekiel Elliott is. It looks like was he like 26, but looks like he's going to retire in a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
the Dallas is no threat. David Bay is going to walk to the Super Bowl this year. Actually, the Rams is the only other team that can give them a problem.
Side tangent. I think obviously Zeke showed regression last year, but if you take a look at the offensive line since, like, even go back like 2 years ago, like Tyron Smith is missing time last season. Zach Martin missed time. He had COVID as well. Frederick retired. That's like old news because a couple of years ago. And then, they had Leo Collins. This is now. They released him for cap casualty. So that unit as a whole regressed across the board since. And then Mike McCarthy calling the plays.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He runs. I watch Red Zone, and he runs the ball every first down. Like
it's crazy to think that dude won a Super Bowl.
Right, they're in I formation, 1st and 10 every play, and then what are they gonna do? Run the ball. So the defense puts 8 in the box.
Yeah, so it'll be 2nd and 8. You get ready for that. You know, it's fucking.
And then they're throwing the ball. Like, what is Zeke supposed to do in that situation? Like, there's no creative play call. There's no pre-snap motion. There's no play action.
Don't sleep on CeeDee Lamb. I feel like he's gonna explode.
Oh, he's nice.
I feel like Michael Gallup will be very good.
Amari Cooper's gone though, so those guys need to be good. You know what I mean? And
Dalton Schultz needs
to have another good season.
McCarthy's looking at a Madden play call, and he's ignoring.
He's got three plays to pick from.
Right, and he's ignoring in-game adjustments. He's ignoring how the defense comes out. He's just like, I'm gonna press.
You don't think he's at the level yet, CeeDee Lamb?
I don't. Well, Lamb's nice. I'm saying McCarthy and the play call. Kellen Moore as well. Okay, he's not proven.
Yeah.
They got a poor play call head coach. They got Kellen Moore. I think he draws plays up or calls them. He's the offensive coordinator. He's unproven. Career backup. So he's good with the clipboard, I guess. But there's just no imagination with the offense. You have all those playmakers, and they're calling like he's pretty much doing like battleship. Like, I'm gonna hit F9, and then whatever happens, happens. But I'm calling that. There's no in-play adjustments. There's no in-game. He's like, this is my book, and I'm calling these. I used to like the Cowboys. I'm so fond of them, but it's very disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they're going back to older times. They had their window of like eliteness too, you know, like last year, the year before that. Like Cowboys should have been something great, but poor management.
Yeah, definitely. But they could make it work because the Rams are making it work. They just signed Bobby Wagner to a 5-year, $50 million contract. $65 million is how much he can make up to with the incentives if he performs. I'm sure he will, unless barring any injury. But the Rams are just
how old, dude? 32?
Reloading, something like that.
That's the thing. He's at 30. He's 30 at least, and to get the 5 years, that was the most shocking part of it. Like, definitely, I knew he was going to get money, but
is it front loaded though? I didn't see the contract. It might be front loaded, maybe.
So he's going to be 32 by the time the year starts. Don't get me wrong. I think he's worth it. I think that's a good deal. That's a team-friendly deal, and that's a good. I mean, he took a pay cut, but he's an elite linebacker still. I mean, he's still been playing lights out for almost 10 years now. He's a beast.
Yeah. Just his
I
presence.
think he'll be a good fit over there. He'll be good leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to harp on, the leadership. That's like having another quarterback on your defensive side. Like,
yeah, the mic is like you need like
Super Bowl champion, multiple playoff runs with Seattle, and he's been elite almost since the day he stepped in.
yeah.
So even with the slight regression, I think it bolsters up, of course, the Rams defense. Because then again, I couldn't name the linebackers before today. I couldn't name a linebacker on them.
On the Rams,
that's not a pass rusher. A coverage linebacker. They don't have none of those.
Yeah, and now they do, and they put him with Aaron Donald. Like we were talking about Jalen Ramsey before. What's his name? Leonard Floyd. Yeah. That defense was already good. Von Miller's gone. Von Miller was very overrated for the Rams last year, in my opinion.
Dude, how he got that contract with the Bills is asinine. No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? This dude's been washed up, and they proved it. And then they were like, you know what? He wanted to ring again, so let's give him.
There you go.
An unbelievable contract.
He made a couple plays, but
he played some good plays. Not enough to fucking get that contract. In the
I'd rather have
2015, no more.
I'd rather have Wagner at 50 than Miller at 120 or whatever it was.
Oh, every day.
And Bobby's a better linebacker.
Yeah. He's just a better player, dude. He's better than Von Miller at this point. He's just better in every aspect.
Oh, yeah.
With the Rams theory, there's been the past like 2-3 seasons, maybe even before, is like we got Donald and we'll fill in. We're not going to pay Donald 25 and then pay the across the line 25. We're going to get people that either like the Denver Von Miller situation, they needed to split on both sides. So they took advantage, got the veteran. They just rotate like a good but not great pass rusher. I mean, Von Miller's obviously great, but his best days are past him, obviously. But we're going to rotate a guy on a relatively cheap contract because we already have a stud on each level now.
Yeah.
So financially, it makes sense to just either draft someone or sign someone for $5 to $10 million because you already got Donald. So
yeah, so you already
someone competent because their level of production is going to get bumped just by having an all-time great in the interior. So
yeah, and Wagner's that guy. Like he's going in a locker room that just won a Super Bowl, but he's also won a Super Bowl. So he's not. He's like. He's at the same level as all these other guys. He's been there and done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a great signing for the Rams, I think. I bet you the contract's front loaded. I need to see it, but I think it's great. And they got Allen Robinson in this offseason too. The Rams they're gonna be legit again. You know what I mean? I mean then you got you have Cooper Kupp still too. You know what I mean? You could still sign Odell Beckham. He's another guy that's still out there.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of his legs, man. I would be at this point. How many he tore his ACL twice? He had ankle surgery, broke his ankle.
Dude, I give him a 1 year, fucking $3 million. He'll take it.
But with how the market panned out, and he's kind of one of the last ones standing, I think maybe they can get him on a team-friendly contract, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just he had that great run with them before getting hurt again, but it's like you can't count on that given what's
I'm sure he's holding out too, he's coming to the end of his career in a way, so it feels like you want to be on a contender team. Like he'll probably accept a value contract for a contending team to get a ring, but it ain't no one going to give him his bag that he wants or anything like that. So he's definitely going to just pick and choose what he wants, I think the ball's in his court. I'm sure there's plenty of teams that want him and are looking at him, but especially like the Rams too. The Rams already said they wanted to re-sign him, but it's got to be a team-friendly deal. So that's probably what's going to happen. I think it's going to happen after the draft too, because there's some studs in this class. So
definitely some studs in this class. But it's a shame that he did hurt his ACL when he did, because if not, he would have gotten a huge contract already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ben signed.
Yeah,
He
that
had like
sucked for
3
him.
for 67 and a touchdown early in the game,
I know.
and got hurt, unfortunately.
Oh, fucking last game of the year. That
Right.
sucks.
I mean, at least he got a ring out of it, but he's not going to get paid now.
Well, it's a lot of
That's
money.
like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but he took his last contract with all Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's gone up a little bit. Merit debt is back up, so he's making some money
Well,
anyway.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
It did go down a little bit
That's what you want to
today,
do. I mean, he's already filthy rich, that contract from the Browns and the Giants, like, he's cool.
Yeah. Remember he was giving out money at the LSU when they won the championship? They fucking giving out money in the locker room. That was so fun.
I don't think anything happened after that. They just let it happen.
I think he got in a little trouble. I forget what happened. Nothing significant.
What, he got put on ESPN? They were like, bad boy? No.
He got good press.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Nothing bad though. Nowadays, it's like it's okay to do. College kids give them all the money they want. You know what I mean?
I mean, good for them. They're making money off their
I'm
name.
for it. I'm for it. You know what I mean?
They're making the schools money that don't even need the money with all the revenue they bring in. Just from
and these guys,
TV contracts.
You see how big some of these fucking athletes are, right? In the college sports, they need to eat more. You know what I mean?
Like Trevor Lawrence for 2-3 years.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like fucking, I don't know, Shaq in college. You know what I mean? Fucking dude's got to eat.
He'd be selling shoes.
Can't work. You're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to have a job. You know what I mean? It's fucked up. But it's good they got their money now. Some of them anyway. That dude Doug from
I think
the dude from St. Peter's, he got something.
Because he blew up Instagram for a second after that Sweet 16 run. Good for them.
No, that was cool. I was like when a Cinderella team does something, you know what I mean? Like George Mason a few years ago, and it's always cool. But we got Duke, Carolina. We got 2 minutes left in the show, so let's talk a little college basketball. Duke, Carolina coming up. That's great. Final Four. Coach K's last hurrah.
He could be packing up.
Fucking North Carolina in the Final Four. It couldn't be better. You know.
I don't know who wants to win. It's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, I'm a Duke fan. I grew up in North Carolina a little bit through my younger childhood years, so I picked Duke when I lived down there. So I stuck with them. You know,
the perfect story to Coach K's last season as a coach.
Yeah,
nice little tribute. Wins the Natty and was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, but fun fact: Mrs. Bill Whyte, she did a bracket, and ESPN got all 4 Final Four teams right.
Really?
Yeah. I got 2. I had Duke and Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of 1 seeds went home, or the top seeds went home.
I had Arizona.
Yep. Kansas, Villanova. That's gonna be another good game. But yeah, so we gotta wrap it up though before they kick us off. So thanks for tuning in. Everyone. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know where to find us. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Y'all be sweet. Peace.
Later.